Chapter 2, Section 3 is Simplifying Variable Expressions. You should be able to find it on page 76 of your textbook. You're going to learn about terms in a variable expression, coefficients, and constants. One thing I want to work with you on is finding a coefficient. So a coefficient is a number that multiplies any variable. So you might look at this negative 4x term and say, well, yeah, the coefficient is negative 4, and you are correct. You also might look at this minus 3y and say the coefficient is 3. You would not be correct. The coefficient is actually negative 3. So one way to remember this is that if I'm subtracting a number, then the coefficient is the negative number. So this coefficient is negative 3. The other way to do it is what I've always been suggesting to you, is change subtraction to addition of the opposite. So this minus 3y becomes plus a negative 3y. So that makes negative 3 my coefficient. Plus 7z, a positive 7 is the coefficient, and this plus 4 is a constant. Same process here. 32, positive 32 is the coefficient in front of a. We're multiplying a. Negative 14 is the coefficient that multiplies b, and negative 21 is the coefficient that multiplies c. Or if you do what I do, you change this subtraction to adding the opposite. So negative 21 is still the coefficient. Simplifying is really, really important in algebra. So work at this, make sure you get it. First thing I do is I multiply out using the distributive property if I have to. So like in this problem here, I'm going to have to multiply y times 3 and 2z times 3 first. Then I combine my variables, I combine any constants, and I've found that changing subtraction to addition really helps. So that's what I do. So that's what I'll do here. First I'll multiply using my order of operations, and then I'll change subtraction to addition and start combining terms. So I'm just going to bring this down here. Multiply first. So negative 4x just comes there, plus a negative 3y. I just changed this subtraction into addition of the opposite, plus 7 times z, plus a negative 1x or negative x, plus 3 times y would be 3y, and then this operation here is addition. 3 times 2z, 3 times 2 is 6, so I'm actually adding 6z, and then my constant here just comes down, plus 8. Now I can start combining my terms. I've multiplied this part out, and I've changed my subtraction to addition here and here. So I've just got to start combining terms. I'll start with my x's. I've got negative 4x, and I add another negative x. That gives me negative 5x. I'm going to cross those out so I can keep track of my work here. I've got negative 3y, and I'm going to add another 3y. Well, negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So I could write out plus 0y, but that's nothing, so I can actually leave that out of my equation. Leave that out when I simplify. I'm just going to cross those out to keep track of my work. I've got 7z plus 6z, so 7 plus 6 is 13. That means I have 13 z's. Cross those out, and I'm left with positive 8, so that plus 8 comes down. Now I'm actually going to eliminate this. I want to simplify. I want this as simple as possible, so this simplifies to negative 5x plus 13z plus 8. I know I'm done because I've only got one coefficient in front of each variable. There isn't like another 3x or something sitting off here. I've got all my variables combined. I've got my coefficients and my constants. Now what I'd suggest you do is pause this video and write down this problem, see if you can simplify it, and then watch me simplify it also. Okay, so 32a plus negative 14b. I'm going to change this subtraction to addition, plus a negative 21c, plus, and now I've got to multiply these out. 4 times negative 8 would be negative 32a. 4 times 3, and the operation is addition, so plus 4 times 3 is 12b. And now my operation is subtraction. 4 times 2 would be 8, but since it's minus 8. I'm going to combine my like terms. So I've got 32a plus a negative 32a. That means these cancel out. 32 plus negative 32 is 0. So it's like I have 0a. And I've got negative 14b plus 12b. So negative 14 plus 12, that's more negatives than positives, means I have negative 2b. Negative 21c, looks like I have no other c's, so this can be plus negative 21c. And then there's minus 8. I would write that as plus a negative 8. I would change my subtraction, minus 8, to addition of negative 8. So if I cross out this a, this plus, this could be correct. Negative 2b plus negative 21c plus negative 8. Or you could say negative 2b minus 21c minus 8. Both of those are correct. So that is simplifying. Please let me know if you have any questions.